Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be talking about... Oh, hello, Mr. Doggo. Mrs. Doggo. My gosh, my dog's a girl. Why did I say that? I'm a little silly today. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about every Indiana Jones movie, including Dial of Destiny, which just released a couple weeks ago. I had the chance to see it last night with some friends, and well, we're gonna get to all of that. I do these ranking videos. I haven't done one in quite a while, so let me just tell you how it works. I'm gonna talk about my least favorite first, and then we're gonna work up to the best, and these are in order. This is what I think of them. These are just, of course, my opinions, though. It's my, what I think of the films. So I want to hear what you guys have to think, though. Comment down below if you agree, disagree, and let's just get right into it. Well, folks, I'm sorry to say, Dial of Destiny has to be my least favorite, so it's going at number 5 on the list. And why is that? Why is Dial of Destiny my least favorite? Well, let me paint you a picture. I don't really pay too much attention to other reviews of people. Sure, I read them, and sure, I'm like, oh wow, that person thinks that's cool. But I don't really base it on, this person gave a bad review, so I'm not gonna go see that movie. I don't go that far. Instead, if you see a movie that you want to see, I suggest you just see it, no matter what other people think. If you like a movie that other people don't like, don't be afraid to admit that you like it. And so that's where Dial of Destiny kind of comes in. I'd heard very mixed reviews about this film, but more about the bad side than the good side. And so I was a little skeptical, but of course I still wanted to see it. It's Dial of Destiny. It's Indiana Jones' first Indiana Jones movie in over a decade. So I was very excited. I had my hat ready. I didn't actually bring it to the theater because I forgot to, but I should have. But I was like, is this? Yeah, this is my real one there. Because I have another one that's not real. But anyway, sorry, I get off track in these ranking videos if you haven't seen already. But anyways, so I saw it. I had a lot of issues with it. I think that the first good 20 minutes or so, the opening monologue kind of deal, the flashback scene, sorry, minor spoilers, I thought it was great. It felt the most like an Indiana Jones movie. That and the ending. I really liked the ending, though it was a little cheesy, but I liked it. But yeah, this was like, sorry, minor spoilers. Actually, you know what? No spoilers. I won't get into it. I won't get into it. Sorry. I'd be making up these videos rules as I go along. No spoilers, but I didn't really like Miss Fleabag's character. I thought she was a little annoying, and yes, some of the other indie gals are pretty annoying, but I would rather take them over her, because Miss Fleabag, Indy's goddaughter, that's not a spoiler, that's in the trailer, is, I don't know, she's just kind of like a, I can do everything that you can do, but better kind of deal, and I don't know, some of the stuff is just like, okay, that's a little too much, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't completely insufferable like most people are talking about on here, but I was just like, alright, this is like Indy's movie, you could like settle down a little bit. I don't know, but Indy was kind of an old, depressed guy in this one, which was a little sad to see. I get it, he has a lot of he's been dealing with a lot of trauma, a lot of issues lately. It's not really so much Luke Skywalker, where they just kind of made him old and depressed for no reason, or close to no reason. In The Last Jedi. What am I saying here? Anyways, I give it about a 3 out of 5 for Dial of Destiny. Would I see it again? I would. I'd see it again. I'd see it with somebody who has never seen it before. Or maybe I'll go back and watch it myself, and maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't see something that you guys who loved the movie did. But what I didn't see is what all the people were so hating about it for. I thought it was good. It was directed good. James Mangold knows how to make a movie. Some directors don't even know where to start. It looks trashy and awful and bad, but I have to give them the credit for this one. There weren't as many, there wasn't as much CGI as I thought there would be. There was still a ton of CGI, and of course practical sets is what really makes Indiana Jones, so, but there wasn't as much, so that's cool. What else is there? Not a whole lot to say about this one. The whole middle part was really long. It was like 2.5 hours, and I'm a big fan of long movies. You know, I'll just watch Ben-Hur on a random day. That's the only long movie I can think of right now. But I don't mind long movies, as some people do. But yeah, this one seemed a little too long. It's not really like doesn't give me the same Indiana Jones vibes as the other one. Even Crystal Skull did. And I think that might have to do with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas being core, part of the film in a core kind of way. Yes, they're executive producers on this one, but they ain't really calling the shots, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Dial of Destiny, 3 out of 5. It's my least favorite Indiana Jones movie, I would have to say. For now. You never know what Disney's gonna do. They're probably gonna come out with another TV show or something like that. But anyways, 3 out of 5 for Dial of Destiny. Now number 4 is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, at one point, this was probably at the very top of my list. Of course, that was when I was a little kitty, but let me take you back to 2008. I was 5 years old. Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of the Scroll was coming out. The hype was real, at least for a kid. You got the Lego sets, you got the Lego video game, you got all sorts of toys and knick-knack stuff and coming out. Indiana Jones was at its peak of excitement and merchandising, and it was just a very exciting time to be an Indiana Jones fan, I would say. And I was an Indiana Jones fan. I had seen all of them. For Halloween, I was Indiana Jones. I had an Indiana Jones themed birthday party when I was 5, and I wore my hat and I dressed up as Indiana Jones to go see the movie in theaters with my mom and my dad. My brother was born at this time. He must have been a newborn when he went, or maybe someone watched him at home, but he was born though, my brother Blaze. So I went to go see it, and I loved it. I remember sitting in the theater. This is crazy, because like I don't remember like a lot of things in life. Like I'm terrible with like birthdays and specific dates and stuff like that. But I remember what it's like to like be sitting in certain movies in a movie theater. Like I remember that. I don't know. But I remember sitting in that movie and I remember two things. I remember being terrified of the skull grave robber guys that have like the skull masks on and they're trying to kill Indy and Mutt. And they're like popping out of the dark. I remember being terrified of that. And I remember at the very end, as the theme song is going on in the end credits, I remember like dancing out of the theater because I was so ecstatic. I was so hype. Ugh. And a reason why I love this movie so much is because at the time, you know, when you're a kid, you don't really look at all the negative reviews. You don't look at all the negativity around the movie. You see a movie, you like it. You're a kid, you know. There's no bad movies. So I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I still do to this day. So one of the reasons why I'm doing a ranking video and I haven't done one in a while is because I've rewatched all of the Indiana Jones movies up until this point, so I'm extra prepared. And yes, the monkey scene is a little silly. And yes, all of these other things are silly and aliens and stuff like that. You guys know the deal. Spoilers on these next few rankings of Indiana Jones films because they've been out for a decade plus. So if you haven't seen them by now and you're watching a ranking Indiana Jones movie video, I just slurred that speech. I suggest you go back and watch the films. They're all on Disney Plus, or you can just buy them and own them. But anyways, it's so silly and so fun. You got Marion there, you got the whole gang there. John Hurt, Oxley, one of the best actors of this generation, of all generations, I would say. Alien, Elephant Man. The man's been in so many things. but Harrison Ford feels and looks like Indiana Jones. The whole gang's back. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Frank Marshall. It's just a wild ride, a wild adventure, and I happen to really like it. I happen to love the alien part. The ending is perfect. Mwah. Last Crusade had a great ending, but this one was also just probably as good, just as good. I don't know. I liked it. So Crystal Skull gets 3.5 out of 5 stars. Closer to a 4, maybe. I would maybe 3.5 or 4. Probably just give it 4. 3.5 because my next one's 4. Next one is gonna be number 2, but it placed number 3 on my list. Temple of Doom. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5 because Temple of Doom, I rewatched it. At the time, it was everyone's least favorite, but when Crystal Skull came around, that was a different story. But Temple of Doom is it's like non-stop adventure. As soon as they get to the temple, Pencott Palace, it's a wild ride. It's a roller coaster from there. It's non-stop. There's romance, there's action, adventure. It's really, really dark. It's the film that kind of created the PG-13 rating. And there's just so many elements to it, man. Ripping a guy heart out. There's alligators. There's voodoo, magic, sorcery. There's a really racist dinner scene. It's known as the racist one, but you know, it was a different time, I guess. So yeah, people mostly just give it a pass. But as long as we acknowledge that it's the racist one, I think that's pretty good. So what was I gonna say? Anyways, yeah, I really like this one. It probably has my favorite like chase scene in any of them. The minecart chase. I just love that chase scene. And well, Temple of Doom, 4 out of 5 stars. Moving up the ranks, we have Raiders of the Lost Ark at number 2. Whoa, you're gonna put Raiders of the Lost Ark at number 2? Yes, sir, I am, because Last Crusade is my favorite. Raiders of the Lost Ark is right up there. I can't really put one over the other because I gave it the same rating. I give them both 5 stars, so we're just going to talk about them both here. So, Raiders of the Lost Ark was like, you know, it's the beginning of the franchise, it's the beginning of everything. The opening scene is probably the best scene out of any Indiana Jones movie. It's the most enchanting, the most nostalgic one. You got the Ark of the Covenant, you got a young Marion, you got this guy, Indiana Jones' fedora. Who is he? What does he do? It's kind of the first film we were kind of figuring out who is this Indiana Jones guy. And it all comes full circle in The Last Crusade, which is why that one's my favorite. But Raiders of the Lost Ark is right next to it. They're both my favorite. What can I say? I can't really put one over the other. One of them is a classic, and one of them is my favorite. So it's like a battle there. I don't know. There's just something about it. The music and everything is just so special and so awesome and inspiring. This one and Crystal Skull, all of the original Indiana Jones films, including Crystal Skull, made me want to become a filmmaker today. And I can only say that for a handful of films. I can say that for Indiana Jones. I can say that for Pirates of the Caribbean, actually. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe I'll do a ranking video of all the Pirates films next, because I have a deep knowledge of those as well. But Pirates, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, probably the prequels, because I watched Revenge of the Sith in theaters when I was a child. I don't really remember that because that was a while ago. But those ones had a deep impact on me. And then a couple of horror films, I would say. Halloween is a big one. That was like the first big scary movie I watched. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Indiana Jones has a deep, deep impact on who I am today as a person. I wouldn't have all these films behind me if it wasn't for Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. Talking about The Last Crusade a little bit, it's probably the funniest one, I would say. Sean Connery is amazing, excellent, of course. I love that Sala goes on the adventure with them. We got Marcus in there. It's all the core characters that Indy loves, near and dear to his heart. All of his friends, with the exception of, like, you know, maybe Short Round. But they're all in this one, and they literally ride off into the sunset. It's a grand, fantastic ending. You got the Mr. Knight who is saying you chose poorly with the cup. You got planes, trains, automobiles. Everything is in The Last Crusade. It's all what makes the Indiana Jones movie special, all in one film. So I can see why people were disappointed when Crystal Skull came out, and it didn't really feel like that. But I think it's good to see Crystal Skull as a different kind of story, I would say. It's not trying to outdo The Last Crusade. It's trying to be its own thing. It's Indiana Jones later into his life. Here I go talking about Crystal Skull again. It's Indiana Jones later into his life, and it's just different. It's a different type of vibe, as I would say, as my dad would say. But yeah, there you go. I've ranked every Indiana Jones film. I love them near and dear to my heart. And if you want to see more ranking videos just like this one, I consider that you click the playlist down in the description. You know, I had a Matrix video I made just like this one where I ranked all of the Matrix movies, but I decided it was not good to post because I feel like I didn't have as much of a knowledge on the Matrix as I do stuff like this, Indiana Jones, Pirates, Halloween, types of deals like that. But maybe once after I give them a rewatch, maybe you'll get that video again. But anyways, folks, I must bid you adieu. Hope you guys like the new setup. I have a different setup here behind me. There's lots of records and there's movies. There's more movies up there. Have you guys ever seen... I thought I had it over here. Oh, have you guys ever seen Avalanche Sharks? Have you guys ever seen that one? Subscribe for more movie talks, and we might talk about Avalanche Sharks in the future. But goodbye, folks. Subscribe.